What's going on? Verdugo29 here. Back here, again. And as you probably heard, that I suck
That
at
was
this
so
intro.
bad. But anyway, what's going on, PokePals? Verdugo29 back with you again, and we are here for the draft recap with the dankest man in all the land, Frank.
I mean, I'm also the dankest man in the sea.
That's true. He is like the amphibious dank. Dankphibious, if you may.
And I'm here because Vertigo can't do it alone.
No, I need my dankness. There's not enough dank in my day without Frank. Anyway, aside from doing show dank with Frank, he is also going to be my little analyst with me to talk about the draft that was done. Obviously, I'm going to be a little biased, like talking about my choices, but everybody else, Frank and I are going to have a pretty healthy discussion about that as the aim of this. Oh god, my phone just went off. I don't know how bad that sounded on the recording, but we'll see. So Frank is... See, this is the first time Frank's actually seen everyone's full drafted team, so I am curious to see what his reactions are, because Frank is a very experienced battler, so we're interested to see how this goes. And this also gives you guys an idea of how the draft went. So as I said, rounds 1 to 4 were all OU picks, and you had to pick OU. Rounds 5 to 8 were all UU, and you had to pick a UU Pokemon. Rounds 9 and 10 were all RU, and then rounds 11 and 12 were NU or anything below, so you could pick from PU or even like NFE if you really wanted to. But anyway, Frank, let's roll.
Vertigo. I'm spooked of your Floatzel.
You should be. You should be. Everyone is saying Floatzel is shit. It has base 115 speed. That thing is a savage.
Why did we all pick Bayleaf?
Why didn't you pick Bayleaf and Murkrow? I don't know. But look, we're gonna break this down. Let's
Murkrow I get.
Dude,
Prankster.
let's just crack into this thing. Alright, so let's start with Charles at the in Farfetch'd FC. He had the first pick of the entire draft and he chose Mew. What do you think of that, Frank?
Well, it's one of the best months, obviously, because it's so versatile. Personally, I would have picked Celebi, but that's just me.
That's just you, yeah. What do you think of the rest of his team, though?
Well, it's offensive, and I actually saw his first battle, so I know how he wants to play it. I like it. I like playing offense. I like watching offense. I like basically everything about his team. But
yeah.
No, I just like the entire team.
I think it's quite solid. One thing that does look like though is his only 2 real checks to a fire type are looking. Oh no, he has Rhydon. Never mind, he drafted Rhydon. It's all good. Yeah, I think it's a bit different, and that's the thing with the GBA.
No, it's completely different from his last GBA.
That's what I like, is that everybody kind of goes a bit standard, and he just wanted to mix it up a bit. And I think he has a few really surprisingly strong Pokemon, and Mega Pidgeot is nothing to scoff at. And I think Pangoro could surprise a few people this season. Although it has like really bad speed, Pangoro is actually quite a good Pokemon.
Pangoro is like a weaker version, but bulkier version of Crawdon. That's how you play it.
Yeah. It's slightly faster than Crawdon as well, so, you know, winning those crucial speed ties. Anyway, so Charles has... I think he has an alright team. I think... It's one of my favorite teams in this GBA, because it's offense, and I just like offense. Guys, I honestly cannot wait to see Frank's reaction when he realizes some of the Pokemon that weren't drafted this season. But, you know, we'll move on. We got John, Florida Gators. He, in his first few picks... He went, like, seriously offensive. He's taken 2 Spinners, 2 Fairies, and has the Mega Venusaur. So, what do you think of that?
I see an Asumiro, I hate it.
I mean, the funny thing is, he drafted Mega Venusaur, but then gave himself, like, no answer for Bird Spam, which is, like, the thing that kills Mega Venusaur.
I mean, that sounds like me in the first GBA I did, and...
Yeah, it's like, yeah, he didn't really think it through.
And like he has a double-8, though.
And like his first round match, which is coming up, his opponent has a Talonflame, so it's like, I don't know how he's going to deal with that at this stage. He does have the Doublade, but like, I don't know, it's such a reliance on Doublade to deal with flying. I think
maybe physically defensive Marowak.
Maybe.
Or just like...
Well, the thing is, his only 2 flying switch-ins are Doublade and Jolteon, and they're not exactly ideal. Like, if you think about Charles with his Mega Pidgeot, and your only 2 switch-ins are a Doublade, which will then die to a Heat Wave, or a Jolteon, which will probably just get outsped as well. You know, it's like...
I mean, Asumiro, kinda.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I think, you know...
good.
John did pick
special
some.
attack.
Yeah, I think John's
Special
gonna be.
attack I wouldn't worry about.
Yeah.
And
I think the way that John's going to win most of his battles, he's going to have to try and run hyper offense and just steamroll over his opponents and hope that the offensive pressure can see him through.
or just not bring Mega Venusaur.
That is also a possibility. Moving on, we have Adam of the Kansas City Cocooners. He picked up the very contentious pick of Mega Metagross. We had decided earlier to let it be used in this season. We're not sure how it's going to go. I think it's a little bit overpowered, but then again, I think everyone does have a way of dealing with it. It's just how well they use their counters. But he picked up a really, really strong team. I think it's one of the strongest
This
teams.
is a try. This is exactly what I call a tryhard team.
I think the
only thing I like about his team is Sneasel.
Well, that's the thing that I was
And
thinking. Like, Sneasel is
Hydrate.
an interesting pick because obviously Weavile went pretty early, but Sneasel is not a bad pick for this GBA.
No,
Knockoff
I like
is great.
it. I
And
like
ice type, it's a good ice type to have.
Look at it. He has Mandibuzz, Blissey, Suicune,
It's,
Lando T,
it's pretty disgusting. I think he also has.
Great Dilly, Kabutops, Emboar not.
I'm not gonna lie, I was a bit surprised that his last pick was Kabutops because honestly, I don't think really he needed it. If anything,
No,
the one thing he could have used was, it's hard to say. I guess maybe a Psychic type would have been nice, but he has
No,
Mega
I mean,
Metagross. But
What he could do is, well, like I always did, is run a rain team with Specs Thunderous with Thunderous Incarnate with Thunder.
and the other
then
thing
run
is that
Rain
Thunderous
as
Eye
well.
would have the Prankster Rain Dance, so it could be guaranteed to get it up for his Kabutops.
Yeah. I'm not even
Also, I
sure.
guess it may help Emboar or Lando T, so maybe he has some ideas about that. Maybe offensive Lando T with Aqua Tail could happen. I don't know. Adam's a very
What
creative...
also could happen, he can run Assault Vest and basically be a very bulky Rapid Spinner.
That is true. Yeah, there are many options. Kabutops is a pretty solid Pokemon, so I think that Adam does have a very strong team. I think one of the issues he may find is that he's picked up a lot of Pokemon that can all do the same role, which means it's just like he could have
Yes, no,
maybe picked different Pokemon to give him some bit more variety with the roles that he can fulfill. Do you know what I mean?
The only sweeper he has is Sneasel.
Yeah, Mega Metagross could potentially be a setup sweeper. Hydreigon, like if he runs at Scarf, maybe. But with the amount of priority and bulk that everybody else is using, Gengar is an interesting one though, because nobody else really picked up an offensive Ghost type. So, I mean, the thing is though, there are a lot of good specially defensive Pokemon picked up everybody, so I don't know how well Gengar is going to go.
You know what's funny? If Adam runs the Tailwind Glyforp set, I think he can 6-0 Charles with it.
Yeah, it is possible. Anyway, moving on, we have Aiden of the Golden State Groviles. He has picked up an interesting team to say the least, in my opinion. I remember chatting to him before this had all started, and he did not know what to pick in NU, and I recommended Vileplume for him, and I think it is one of the key picks for his team, because it really just holds everything together.
Yeah, Vileplume Yuxi is a solid core always. So.
Yeah, that's used really well in NU, and I think he can definitely put good use there. I think he was one of the best people when it came to the last 4 picks. I think he picked probably the best Spiritomb, a spin blocker, Hitmonlee, a good rapid spinner, and a strong physical attacker, and then the Vileplume Uxie core. I think he really drafted well at the end, and was still able to pick up some really strong Pokemon in between. I don't know how I feel about the dual water of Empoleon and Feraligatr. Perhaps maybe he could have picked up a different UU Pokemon like Crocodile. I think Crocodile would have been a nice fit for his team, even though he wanted to get Spiritomb. I still think Crocodile could have been a nice pick, but that's just me.
Yeah, pursuit trapping is always nice, and always Scar with
Or he
Moxie.
could have picked up Lucario as well, but that was at the stage where, guys, he didn't actually have Mega Gallade. He was able to... we basically allowed everyone one redraft at the end of all of the picks, and he ended up picking up Mega Gallade from that. I don't know how Mega Gallade is going to go, because it's got a really awkward speed stat when it Mega Evolves, and there's a lot of Pokemon around that could really hurt it. I'm going to mute my Skype notification. I'm just going to pause and be back in a sec. Alright, we are back. Frank is a genius. Recommending doing that
I'm
nice
an idiot.
it just to tell people on that do not disturb and no, not get any notifications. Amazing. Alright, so what do you think of Mega Gallade? Do you think it's a good pickup or a bad pickup?
I mean, it's more versatile than most people think. Because imagine Mega Sableye is normally a counter, but because in
Wait,
this
hold on,
tournament you
sorry.
can counterplay.
For some reason, I'm still
Counterplay
getting
it.
those notifications. I'm getting pissed now. Yeah, I think we're good now. I think we're good now. All right. Do you reckon we're done with Aiden's team?
Let's see. I want to say some final thoughts.
Okay, go for it.
He has one of the best setup sweepers in the game, but I think he lacks of, well, what's it called? A good, I forgot. If Earth Spam, I think Earth Spam, Earthquake Spam can take it down if you imagine.
I think Bird Spam can be handled, I guess, by Heatran to an extent.
Yeah, no, I don't. Heatran and Empoleon, he has both, but I mean Earthquake is kind of weakness to him, because Gliscor, you can run
Yeah,
HBI.
I think it has a few holes, but I think if he plays smart, he can patch them up.
Yeah.
Okay, Frank. So now you get to look at my team. I was actually really happy with the team that I drafted, but I want to know what you think of it.
Let's see. I like the Garchomp.
I was so keen to have that first up because I just know how like many sets we could run with that.
It's insane. It's same with Rotom Wash, but even with less.
Yeah, you'll see that my kind of theme for this whole picking was I wanted really versatile Pokemon.
Alright, your team is kinda weak to rocks, and you only have one Defogger, so you can't stack up hazards.
Yeah,
which is
I got Scissor and Golbat that can get rid of him.
Yeah, but Caesar, I don't like it as a Defogger.
Yeah, I hate default Scissor too.
No, but generally, when you run Mega Caesar, set up Mega Caesar, you generally want to stack up spikes and Stealth Rocks. And you have no way of getting up spikes, and if you do, you can only defog it away because you don't have a rabbit spinner, and your team is kinda weak to rocks. So that's the main problem I see with your team.
Yeah, I got I think 3 weaknesses to rocks, which is annoying.
The rest I like. Especially the Floatzel, because everyone thinks it's garbage and it's actually genius.
Hey man, they don't even know the sets that Floatzel can run. Have you seen Floatzel's 2 abilities? Floatzel has 2 of the best abilities I've ever seen for a Pokemon that low in a tier.
What abilities does it have?
So it has Swift Swim, so I can run it with like a rain team. And
you don't need Swift Swim.
Like, I have Tornado Stereo, so like 100% Hurricanes, sure, why not? And the other ability is Water Veil, which means it can never get burned.
I just run Water Veil and get and use Choice Band to counter Sableye, or run Bulk Up.
Yeah. Oh, I'm tempted to run Bulk Up, but I am a little bit worried about Mega Sableye having the Foul Play, so I don't know how I'm going to run Floatzel at this edge. If I do even bring Floatzel,
you can always flinch with Waterfall.
Hey, who needs Floatzel against Mega Sableye when I have Scrappy Kangaskhan just blowing it away?
True.
Yeah, I was a bit 50-50. I honestly wanted Tauros before Kangaskhan, because it doesn't really show it in this draft, guys, but I actually picked Floatzel before Kangaskhan. Kangaskhan was my last pick, and Jack ended up sniping Tauros from me right at the end, but it's alright. I'm pretty happy with Kangaskhan. Fake Out's nice.
I mean, yeah.
Anyway, so any final thoughts on my team?
Good offensive power, good defensive core, solid, very versatile ones, just no spike ability, and like a good rapid spinner.
Then again, like, you look at everybody's picks and you'll see it over time. I reckon there's about 2 or 3 Pokemon in the entire PokePals World Championship this season that could run spikes. So if that's the case, my basic plan is, you know, just getting up my rocks, and if they want to rapid spin, they can rapid spin.
Run Magic Goat and everything.
Easy. Easiest play of my life. Anyway, let's move on to Will. He has the pretty cool core. I really like the core of Mega Altaria and Magnezone. I mean, Mega Altaria, Magnezone, and Gyarados actually just by itself is a pretty sneaky little core. Yeah,
but because this is sort of tournament where you can prepare for it, you can run Shed Skill. I don't know what the item is called. And he doesn't have a good knockoff user, which paid in those months,
Yeah.
barring Murkrow.
I don't even know.
So if he,
Yeah.
I think he needs to play Murkrow well, and then he can trap Stone, and then he can sweep. What I like about his team is double Porygon.
Yeah, Porygon Z is really underrated. Spec PZ can hit really hard, or he can double dance. There's so many different sets he can run. The one thing I noticed on his team is that he has effectively 1, 2, 3, 4 Pokemon weak to rocks, and his only defogger is Murkrow. His only way of getting rid of hazards is Murkrow.
Murkrow gets defog.
It does get defog. Which is kind of like, you thought I had a
Altaria.
rock issue, he has a huge issue with that, so I think maybe
Yeah.
later on he'll have to
he's
trade or
gonna- I
redraft
think
something that can deal with hazards.
I think he's gonna run a defensive Altaria with defog.
I mean, he may have to, by the way it's looking right now.
No, it's actually pretty good, but
Oh, I'm not saying it's not good. Well, I'm just saying that's looking like how he's going to have to run it, so that's like the only one issue, but I also like the pick of Typhlosion and Meloetta. I actually really like the combo of Meloetta and Cobalion.
yeah.
Because you can bait the knockoff, go into Cobalion, get the boost, you know.
I just like Murkrow.
I know you do.
That-
Alright, moving on, we have Matt of the Maryland Manetrix, and I don't know if it was an ego pick or whatever, but he was able to scoop up his basic team mascot right now, his Mega Manetric. Straight off the bat, he's running double fire, which is interesting, but what do you think, Frank? What are your thoughts?
I think Jack kind of infected him, and he kind of gets use the same team every time syndrome. Considering I think he had a lot of these months he had before, so
It's interesting that he's chosen a lot of poison types and whatnot, but you know, Psychic and Ground are a bit of an issue. Sure he has Umbreon, sure he has Wheezing, but those two types are still really annoying to deal with for his team. I like the Ursaring pick. I think Ursaring's not too bad, actually.
yeah. Ursaring is a funny thing. You can run Festing and just wreck things with Guts.
He has Cloyster as well, which I think, I don't know, Cloyster lately hasn't really been as threatening. I think in this kind of format, maybe it can put in work. Maybe.
Or you can run a Suicide Lead with Spikes.
Yeah. There's a lot of different options you can run with Cloyster, so I think that's a good pickup. I also think the core of Gashionon and Amoonguss is disgusting, but you know, it's not as bad as a Lomomola and Amoonguss, so there's that.
True.
Um,
Just run a Hydrant.
I really
That's
want to
what I
see him
did.
be a bit more creative with Victini. The last few seasons he's had Victini and hasn't really used it to its full potential, and it has so many different sets that it can run, so I'd like to see him put in work with that.
I'm personally gonna give him some sets to use with it.
Yeah. Anyway, let us move on to Nick, who is new to the whole GBA format, and I'm not gonna lie, when I saw his like first 2 picks for this season, I was like, huh? When you look at what everybody else has picked, and then you see what Nick started with, he started off with Volcarona and Sableye, just regular Sableye.
I considered picking those two in combination once, considering they cover each other's weakness insanely well.
Yeah.
I think what happened is he kind of wanted Mega Sableye for Corona Core, but Jack already picked Mega Sableye. So he thought, oh, regular Sableye works too.
Yeah. Mega Lopunny is always a big threat, especially with Scrappy. And I think Slowbro plus Chesnaught is going to be a really solid little core. And plus he picked up Crocodile, so even those 3 together could be a really nice little core that he could run.
I like his entire team, but Autono.
See, Autono is really good to Regenerator with Wish. Is something that a lot of other Wish classes really struggle with.
It's mainly because I hate Mega Autono.
Yeah. Toxicroak is also not too bad as well, because if he has like Krook in or Volcarona in and baits the water type, then Toxicroak can actually pair with them really well.
True. Nah, I just like his team. That's it. I think he's a bit weak to bird spam, but
Yeah. Just a little bit. Anyway, moving on, we have Jack of the Verdant Vaporeons, our good friend. Really
And
annoyed.
he's using exactly the same team he did last week, GBA.
He's
Moving
not.
on to
He's
Con.
actually changed up a little bit. He's gone with the Mega Sableye offense, which is interesting. But
Yeah, he didn't pick Skarmory, which I think is pretty interesting considering his entire strategy is basically around stalling out the opponent with spikes and stealth rocks, and he has no means of getting up spikes now, so I'm surprised, but
I mean,
and
are there any-
Sylveon Mega Sableye is just a disgusting core.
it is. Are there any
That's right.
choices that surprise you that Jack would actually consider getting them?
No, I like all of
It's
this
just,
month.
I'm just gonna
Vaporeon.
quickly pause again for 1 second. Alright, we're back now. Yeah, just had some technical issues. Anyway, Frank, are there any picks that do surprise you on Jack's team?
Well, considering I kinda know Jack, I'm surprised he picked what's it called? No, I forgot. No, I kinda like his team. I like all of his months but Vaporeon, because the way he uses Vaporeon.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's it.
That is it?
and
Alright.
he probably is just always gonna run the same sets, so
True. It'll be interesting to see if Jack can be like slightly creative. I'm not sure how he's gonna go. He's not really the best at creativity like you and I would be, but you know, time will tell.
I hope for him.
Next we have Connor of the San Diego Simmer Stages. I actually really like the coverage on his team. Like Rotom, Heat, Rhyperior, Mega Blastoise, Ferrothorn, and Latias.
I'm actually kind of spooked of the power in his team.
Like he has a couple of interesting choices. Like Drapion and Miss Magius actually pair up ridiculously well.
Yeah, true.
He did pick Munchlax.
And he also
He did pick Munchlax, which I can totally see him running like a stockpile set one day.
yeah, but
But he
I
also
like
has Yan Mega.
don't hate on Yamaga.
No, I'm not hating
But
it. I'm saying it's a really...
Yeah, he has a Latias, which is one of the best defoggers, arguably best. He has a Magic Bounce user in Espeon. I think he can pair it up. He also has Mega Blastoise,
Yeah,
which
as in,
is
like,
one
he
of the
doesn't have
best
to rely
spinners.
on defog with Latias. He can run Specs Latias, or, you know, so many different sets of Latias. He doesn't have to rely on it defogging all the time. He can use it a bit more freely and be more creative. And he has one of the most terrifying bird spammers in Staraptor. So, I think Connor's actually drafted really well, and it's just now down to him to be able to build the team and be able to execute it to plan.
I mean, yeah. The biggest threat I saw to his team was Terrakion, but he has Terrakion himself, so...
Yeah. Okay, 2 teams to go. Next, we have Tom of the Arizona Rattatas. What do you think of this team, Frank?
Thomas, my man. He's my main man. He gets me, and I just like his team. But I like everything but the Dusclops, the Carbink, and the Whimsicott.
Tom believes he has one of the best cores in the GBA with Carbink plus Bronzong. What are your thoughts on this statement, Frank?
The boat can't do anything but get up rocks. That's what they do.
Yeah.
And they both don't have recovery. He can put up Trick Room and try to run like Life or Sheer Force Conkeldurr. But I
Well, I actually do not mind Bronzong in his team because it gives him really good support. Some of his Pokemon, like especially Conkeldurr, everything Conkeldurr is weak to is covered by Bronzong.
I hope he runs Sheer Force Life or Conkeldurr once.
I could see him running Iron Fisted Conkeldurr. I would, like sub Focus Punch. Show me your switch in.
No. Imagine Life or Sheer Force. Just... And then with Stone Edge or something. No one expects a Stone Edge.
He can even run all the. He can technically run all the elemental punches as well because they activate Sheer Force. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Which is kind of disgusting.
That's it.
So yeah, definitely some potential. How do you think he's gonna go?
I think he... Well, he's always gonna run Milotic. Yes, and always the same set, so that's kind of predictable. Mega Gyarados is just spooky, no other words. I don't like Zapdos, but it's pretty versatile. Alakazam, Life Orb, Pokesash, I like it. Nidoking, insanely underrated. Arcanine, same. And Ambipom, he's just running fake out shit. I like his team.
Yeah, I think Tom is the kind of battler where if he believes himself and backs his team, he can get the result, and that's the thing he needs to do.
Unless you run 5 Tauntmons.
That is, yeah, that was crushing. That was so soul-destroying when you did that. Anyway, moving on to the final competitor, we have Stab of the Chicago Sacred Fire. He was running...
I like his name. That's all I'm gonna say.
He's like... Frank and Stab have had some classical conversations, of course talking about high order topics, and I think he's drafted a really solid. I think he's drafted a really solid team, man.
He has a Tyrantrum.
He does. The one thing,
yeah.
okay, the one thing I will be a little bit critical of is his lack of switch-ins for Ghost and Dark types, even Psychic types for that matter.
Or he just fighting.
Yeah,
imagine Gunner running Bandit Terrakion.
He's actually, I feel like he is relying so much on Cresselia in this team, it is ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, he has a Tentacruel, but...
He does, but even then, it's like, Tentacruel and Cresselia isn't enough. I just think, like, Tangrowth is a good pickup too. I just get the feeling...
if he plays Cresselia as well as Charles did last GBA, I think he can pull it up, but...
The other thing is that he is also relying a lot on Tentacruel and Driller to be solid spinners for Zard, but against people with like Mega Sableye, other ghost types like Gengar, that does make the job a little bit tricky.
Yeah. Wait, imagine if someone has what's the water thing, the water ghost thing? Jellicent against him.
Yeah. Jellicent would have shut down his 2 spinners. I think that he has potential. What do you think about Kecleon?
It's underrated. It can put in work, but I don't see it putting in work considering most of the months I see can actually severely damage it.
Yeah.
And for Kecleon to be effective, you can run Power Up Punch, or you can run Sub Recover or shit, or well, you can run multiple things, but I don't see it doing too much work.
I think he has a good team. I think he'll do okay. He's a good battler, so I think he'll know what to do with his team.